Hello there, I'm Michael. These are the Nothing Headphone A's. They cost £149 and I love these in every way possible. Apart from the main thing. So let's go through all the things that I like about these headphones. And we've got to remember all the way through this review, the price, £149 for a pair of headphones of this quality with ANC. That's pretty good. And straight away in the unboxing, I was surprised to see two lovely high quality cables, a 3.5mm headphone cable and a USB-C cable. They're thick, feel very well made, have nothing branding on the side. You can use both for audio playback, although only USB-C will work with the microphone. You also don't get a case, but instead this Nothing branded bag, which feels like it's made out of recyclable material. I haven't actually used the bag because when I picked these up for the first time, they felt really durable and well made. The materials are a mix of mostly high quality plastic, metal and liquid silicone, as well as memory foam on the ear cups. The plastic build does not make these feel cheap at all. They're probably polycarbonate, and as I said, I decided not to use a case at all because holding them just gave me so much confidence that they would easily survive even super rough treatment. So the worst thing I've done with these is accidentally drop an entire gym bench on them, and it was a heavy bench as well. And it was on top of the headband, and I lifted the bench off, and these were absolutely fine. There's not even a mark on them. So yeah, I've been throwing these in my bag. I've been throwing them on the bed. I just haven't really been mindful of them, and they look perfect. However, in very, very specific light, you can see a ton of micro scratches on the outside cup. Like if you really kind of angle it, you can see it. But if you look at these in any other light, just normal light, you cannot see a thing. So it hasn't really bothered me, if I'm honest. And the design is just so different. They won't be for everybody, especially for me in this white color, which I think looks fantastic, especially on camera. But in reality, I would choose the black version, just so they wouldn't stand out so much. You can also get these in yellow and pink finishes, but this design is really what will draw people towards these headphones. Yes, Nothing is a tech brand, but it's also a design brand, and this is their bread and butter, stepping out from the safe and sanitized world of bland, smooth curves and rounded cups, and instead crafting a blend of futuristic cyber design into a retro throwback all at once, and somehow it works. One drawback to these headphones for a lot of people will be that they don't fold. They do twist around like this, so you can kind of adjust it in your bag, but the headband is fixed. So if you are in the market for a compact pair of headphones that are easy to travel with and you can slot into a bag or into a small place, then these aren't them. The other thing is they are comfortable. I've done several 4-hour flights with these and have had no fatigue whatsoever. The clamp is quite strong, which I think is a good thing. For some people, they won't like that, but if you do running or you go to the gym, then these are going to be really good. I think they are more firm than tight. They're also relatively light, and the headband is really comfortable with its silicone padding. So yeah, for me, I could wear these for long periods of time with no problem. The controls on the headphone A's are again thoughtful and different. On the back right cup, we have a roller that controls volume and is clickable to pause and play music. You can also hold this to turn on the active noise cancellation and transparency. It's a very smooth feel, very light, and I got used to it immediately. Then next to that, we have what Nothing calls a paddle, that you push left and right to change tracks and hold to scrub through audio, which is such a neat idea. We also have a dedicated Siri or Gemini button on the side, as well as a power switch at the bottom, along with a USB-C port and a 3.5mm headphone jack. And I must say, all of this has been done very well. Physical, tactile buttons that are interesting to interact with. That's all we want from our headphones. So all of this is shaping up rather well, and it gets better because the active noise cancellation on these things for £149 is pretty good. I would say that it blocks around 75% to 80% of what a really high-end Sony or Bose headphones would block. The passive noise cancellation is very good. The seal really plays a big part in this one. It's a super snug seal, but they do it without being uncomfortable. The cancelling does very well with low rumbling sounds, but those higher pitched sounds do creep through a bit. But overall, for the price, I think these are where they need to be. The transparency is fine, it does the job, it does pick up a bit of ambient sound, but I don't have any problems with the performance at this price. But now we come to the part that I've struggled with a little bit, and that is the sound. And remember, sound is completely subjective, and I am not an audiophile. But with the Nothing Headphone A's, I found these to be a little flat and a little bit lacking character. If you want bass, it's there. Bass boost. Bass sound profiles, custom bass, and that bass does boom. It booms over what I describe to my ear as quite a sharp and flat treble. Listening to some guitar tracks like Radiohead, there is decent music separation, but an overall soundstage that to me sounds empty. I love a soundstage that is full and satisfying to my ear, and even when playing around with the EQ and preloaded sound profiles, I just never found my sweet spot. Electronic music, however, sounds much better. Artists like The Prodigy or Massive Attack really allow these headphones to perform and stretch their muscles. So if that's your jam, then perfect. You also get high-res audio listening over USB-C or with LiDAC higher quality wireless streaming. And don't get me wrong, these are not bad sounding headphones. I handed these to 4 or 5 friends and family. They all took the headphones, they all picked their own tracks, they all listened, and they all asked, what brand is this and how much do they cost? So for them, they were awesome, but this isn't their review. It's mine. So take my review for what it is. These just aren't for my ears in certain tracks and genres. And actually, my mother has a pair of Nothing Ear A's, and I tried them out at the same time as these, and I much preferred the sound on them, and they're half the price. What I will say is that these get plenty loud, have plenty of bass, and at full volume in close proximity to other people, there is basically zero noise bleed, which is very impressive, especially as this is something I'm quite conscious of usually. Does that mean I won't use these in the future? Absolutely not. I'm definitely going to keep these. I actually really enjoy them. I can still listen to music on them. They're not a bad sound. I can use them for workouts, and they've actually been sitting on my desk. I've been using them to edit videos. With that 3.5mm wire, there's just no lag, so I can do edits quite easily with them. And then there's the battery. The battery destroys. The last time I charged these was over 2 weeks ago, and I've worn them on 4 or 5 4-hour flights. I've listened to music, I've watched YouTube, I've edited with them, and they're not even close to dying. You can get up to 135 hours of playback on these, and with the ANC on, 75 hours. And that is, for most people, going to last at least an entire week. And that's if they're on your head basically all day from morning to evening. Most people will have these on for maybe 2 hours a day on average. There is one feature that is missing on these that I really love on my other headphones, and that is auto pause and play when you take them off. There's no sensor there to detect head detection. So yeah, instead, when you take them off, I've learned to press pause on the back and then take them off, which is, saying it out loud, the most hilarious first world problem, but there we go. Okay, so this is a microphone test. I'm currently using my MacBook Pro as a microphone because my iPhone wouldn't work for some reason. So this is what it sounds like. Okay, so for the sake of comparison, I put my AirPod Pros 2s in. These are a very standard headphone that people use around the world. I'm in a quiet place, and this is what they sound like. Okay, so here are the Nothing Headphone A's. I think they have multiple microphones around the different cups, so I'm in a quiet environment, and this is what they sound like. My experience with the automatic device switching. So it does do it. If you are working on your iPhone and you go to your Mac, it will switch over if you pause on one and then play the other. But my concern when I first got these headphones was lag in everyday video consumption, like on YouTube or watching movies, because so many headphones I've used are just a little bit behind what's being said on screen, and it drives me nuts. And if you just so happen to be a little bit extra on top of this, you can go into the app and switch on low lag mode, and then it will be perfect. That is if the app is working, because sometimes I would click on it and it would completely bug out and lag and crash, which for a company like Nothing kind of surprised me. Even on the startup menu where you open the app for the first time after it's connected to the headphones, it's supposed to give you a quick demo about how to use the touch controls, and it was just a blank screen with the progress dots along the bottom. And I just clicked next, next, next while it changed slides and showed absolutely nothing. So I just worked it out myself, which is fine. But for some less tech savvy people, this would be a problem. Trying your brand new headphones on for the first time and you can't work out how to control them. The other thing I would say that on every occasion where I've had a long listening session for over an hour or something, there has been a Bluetooth disconnect. It reconnects again within 5 or 6 seconds, but it's a little bit annoying and shouldn't happen, especially if you're enjoying listening to a track or you're watching a movie. That's pretty annoying. Overall though, for the price of £149, I think these are pretty good headphones for a lot of people. They look great, they come in lots of different styles so you can really blend your personality into them. They're comfortable, they're lightweight, they're well built, the battery is insanely good, they have decent noise cancellation, come with high quality cables and connectivity, and produce a sound that, according to my public research, a lot of people like. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing, dropping a like and a comment down below, and I will see you all in the next one.